fit, formidable, and fantastic.
Hey everyone, it's Cory McCarthy and welcome to a new episode. I've been asked for more science-intensive videos relating to nutrition and exercise. And here you go. I got an often inquired about topic for you as well. Recently I came across a very comprehensive and well-controlled piece of research published in the International Journal of Sport Nutrition and Exercise Metabolism. And this had me reconsidering my previous thoughts on whether it is possible for an advanced lifter, the key there being advanced lifter, to build muscle at the same time as reducing fat while in a caloric deficit. I know people have their anecdote, but you all know that I don't like to rest an anecdote alone if you've been watching this channel. So I also like to mix in the hard science as well. And it appears to be possible, but there are dietary specifics, if you will. Let me explain all the details so that we may be able to recreate the results with our own bodies. So get ready to take notes. The study involved 36 elite-level male and female athletes, ranging from 18 to 35 years of age. 30 of them actually completed the study to the letter, and their results were published. Now, before they began, the athletes were screened for medical conditions, for instance, those that might affect metabolism. They were then divided into two dietary groups for the study duration. There was a slow reduction of fat group and a fast reduction of fat group, which were differentiated by the depth of caloric restriction in their respective meal plans. The study duration was 12 weeks. Participants weight trained 4 days a week. Every body part was attacked twice a week, with a rep scheme of 3 by 8 to 12 in the first 4 weeks, 4 by 6 to 12 in the second 4 weeks, and 5 by 6 to 10 in the final 4 weeks, with 1 to 3 minutes of rest break between sets. Those rep ranges are ample for hypertrophy and even adequate for strength improvement. Furthermore, the prescribed rest between sets was in line with research on hormonal improvement, such as with growth hormone and testosterone. Though, given this study, I'd recommend only 60 to 90 seconds rest, not upwards of 2 to 3 minutes. During the study, participants were forbidden to use creatine, and in fact, they were also asked to stop supplementing creatine 6 weeks prior to the study. Now, I could not ascertain the reason for this, but whatever. I'm just putting it out there. The only supplements that they were allowed to take were a multivitamin and cod liver oil, which I know isn't vegan, but I'm just stating the details from the study here. And these were included simply to ensure sufficient micronutrient and essential fat needs were met. Any further vitamin and mineral supplementation was administered on an as-needed basis to meet the individual participants' needs. The dietary setup was as follows. For the slow reduction group, calories were decreased below maintenance by approximately 19%. Protein was set to 1.6 grams per kilogram, which is within the recommended range for athletes per the American College of Sport Medicine in 2009. Carbs were set to 3.6 grams per kilogram. And finally, dietary fat intake was set to approximately 21% of total daily calories, which the research considered low fat. For the fast reduction group, calories were decreased below maintenance by approximately 31%. Protein was set to 1.4 grams per kilogram, which still falls within the recommended range for athletes. Carbs were set to 3.2 grams per kilogram, and dietary fat intake was same as the slow group at approximately 21% of total daily calories. All athletes consumed a recovery shake within 30 minutes post-training. That contained 20 to 40 grams of carbohydrates with 6 to 20 grams of protein. Now this was followed by a balanced meal within 1 to 2 hours from post-training. All athletes consumed 0.5 liters of water per hour during training and approximately 2 liters of fluids throughout each day. And any deviations were to be tracked. Yes, the study was very specific. And finally, the body composition results based on DEXA scan, which I found very interesting.
For the slow reduction group, fat mass reduced by approximately 5%, but at the same fucking time, lean muscle increased by 1 kilogram or 2.2 pounds in 12 weeks.
Remember, these are advanced athletes, not beginners. So 2.2 pounds of fresh muscle in 12 weeks, while also in a caloric deficit, that is phenomenal.
To give you some visual perspective, here's a replica of 5 pounds of muscle on the right in the photograph. Now imagine about half of that, or 2.2 pounds worth, distributed over your entire body.
If you're lean enough, you will certainly notice that extra 2.2 pounds of muscle. And the beauty of these results are participants leaned out while adding this fresh muscle.
However, in the fast reduction group, fat loss was actually 2% less, a drop of approximately 3%, but also with lean muscle loss in the males of 0.3 kilograms, or a little more than half a pound. Interestingly, the female fast reduction group either didn't lose any muscle or actually gained 0.7% lean muscle tissue. The females also improved their squat run rep max compared to the men. All the results were the same on average between the genders.
In hindsight, I personally think the male fast reduction group might have prevented muscle loss had their protein intake been higher.
As shown in this 2014 paper on natural pre-contest bodybuilders, where protein was recommended to be 2.3 to 3.1 grams per kilogram of lean body mass per day,
versus 1.2 to 1.8 grams per kilogram, as suggested by the American College of Sport Medicine in 2009. Furthermore,
a 2005 nutrition text published by NAP proclaims vegan bodybuilders may require more than 2 grams per kilogram of body weight in protein per day,
which is an additional 0.4 grams per kilogram than this study utilized in the slow reduction group. And it also falls in line with the range recommended in that 2014 paper. Just some food for thought and a little room for experiment when trying the study guidelines out for yourself. However, if you decide to slightly increase your protein intake versus this study, I would compensate by slightly lowering your carbohydrate intake. I would not touch your fat intake, which is at minimum for health, as I've discussed many times in other videos. And in place of the fish oil in the study, you can utilize a quality vegan omega-3 supplement.
I use this vegan algae-based omega-3 product containing EPA and DHA by Flora.
In conclusion, it would appear the key difference was the depth of caloric restriction. Those utilizing a modest caloric deficit experienced a notable recomp effect, as it were, versus those with significant caloric deficit. The modest group actually had better results all around. An important takeaway is that while caloric intake matters, there's no benefit in starving yourselves. I just want to drive that point home. No benefit in starving yourselves. You don't have to starve yourselves. And in fact, your results will clearly be optimized if you don't. Furthermore, resistance training is an important factor in optimizing body composition, and that should go without saying, but the endless rows of hamsters relying solely on treadmills at a gym near you tells a different story. So, I want to thank you all for watching this, and I hope it's been informative and is as compelling for the majority of my viewers as it was for me. And do feel free to drop thoughts and comments below, as well as liking and sharing my video if you found this useful, and do subscribe to my channel to get content updates if you've not already. Until next time, my friends.